Hello, we are the Ministry of the Real Truth, and we strive to bring you the real truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. No hype, no fluff or other silly nonsense. We're not trying to tell you or unsell you a whole lot of phooey. Just the real truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Today, through this video presentation, we are looking to answer that age-old question: what is sin? What causes us to sin? For the atheists, God brothers, God dislikers, haters out there, you know who you are, who pose this question. If there is no creator or intelligent designer, God or Jesus Christ, then there is no other God, deity within the mind, an icon or something fashioned from nature, the animal kingdom, or out of wood, stone, or wax. You can call them or know them as Buddha, Krishna, Shiva. If there's no God, no gods, then these are all fairy tales. So then there would be no devil, or accuser or adversary, nor tempter, or force that creates all evil and pushes all to commit evil atrocities throughout the world. Those done throughout the centuries, up to modern day. So then explain us all, what is it exactly that causes us all to, quote, sin, commit evil and evil atrocities within ourselves or to ourselves, and most unfortunately to everyone else around us, unquote. Is it something deep within our genetics, DNA, our blood, our psychosis, passed down to us from Adam and Eve, our first parents, as the scriptures so boldly tell us? Or is it just something in the subconscious mind? So tell us what really causes us to sin. Could it be purely a habit, accumulated habit, like you indulge in one thing and you do it over and over and over and over again for years? It becomes a habit, which then possibly in your later life could become your addiction, be it alcohol, drugs, porn, etc., etc. Can we rid ourselves of these accumulated bad habits over those years, right? Replacing bad habits with good habits. That's the only way you can get rid of those bad habits, supposedly, according to Og Mandino and Greatest Secret in the World, etc. Yeah, so if there's no creator, no intelligent designer or intelligent design plan, God, Jesus Christ, or whatever you profess out there as fact, it's all fairy tales, then there's no devil. Okay, so people out there are struggling, they know, everybody knows the difference between good and bad, right and wrong. Some people out there are struggling with carnal urges, lusts. They're fighting themselves. Well, I don't want to do that because there's dire consequences. Could put me in jail, could ruin my life and my family, etc. All that sort of stuff, which has happened over the years. So they come to realise there was something that wasn't right there. There's something, a demon being fought inwardly, right? They're fighting against something within themselves that's urging them to commit this sin, this temptation, this sin, this crime, however they see it, right? So we're looking at this book, Sin Reconsidered by James Gaffney. We're probably going to leave a lot out because it's a lot of religious Christian theology, right? There's the contents page right there. What are they saying about sin? Sin and the problem of evil, sin in biblical vocabulary, sin in the covenant. So we'll probably jump to like chapter 6 or something like that and go from there. We probably will start at chapter 6, Original Sin and Psychology of the Unconscious. Recent theological treatments of original sin have tended on the whole to present it as less as an essentially mysterious datum of supernatural revelation and more as a phenomenon of common human experience. Accordingly, typically modern writers have given less attention to what is traditionally called peccatum originans, the starting point or originating moment of original sin, and more attention to peccatum originatum, etc., etc. Okay, don't want to bog you down with gobbledygook. Perhaps the most frequently cited example is St. Paul's moving accounts in Romans, in this Bible, right? Often, though arguably assumed to be autobiographical, of discovering within oneself two radically incompatible imperatives, one pressing compellingly toward evil and the other summoning ineffectually towards good. Paul's account of this kind of experience brings out with remarkable vividness the sense of a divided self within which unauthorized cravings seem to struggle with dismaying effectiveness against the practical determinations of rational religious morality. These rebellious forces that appear to underlie so much of what is most deplored in human conduct have been collectively termed as concupiscence, in the sense of unruly appetite or undisciplined desire. It has been often remarked that this aspect of human experience is realized socially as well as individually, finding expression in the concerted behavior, blah blah blah. It would seem natural that phenomena of this kind should attract the attention of social scientists, and particularly of psychologists, yet in the past the science of psychology has shown little interest in and shed little light on the matter. Recently, however, psychology has been looked to much more hopefully for relevant observations and explanations. The newness of this interest finds its plainest explanation in the emergence during the past century of new schools of thought in psychology, formed around theories and techniques for exploring the unconscious as a hitherto neglected source of dynamic influences on human behavior. Of these modern schools of thought in psychology, psychoanalysis, the earliest and most celebrated, attracted the attention of theologians and religious thinkers almost from the start. Much of that attention was and is hostile and suspicious, especially on account of Freud's anti-religious philosophy and what many judged to be his unwholesome preoccupation with sex. At the same time, there was a more positive and more thoughtful reaction on the part of a number of moral theologians who perceived in Freud's account of unconsciousness, of unconscious motivation, a largely overlooked factor whose limiting effect of human freedom could reduce or exclude the subjective culpability of objectively immoral actions, and so forth. Okay. There's also Kinsey and John Money, who Kinsey came out with these experiments he did on children from from birth to preteen, etc. He did some pretty sick stuff apparently, and he was praised. His book came out and he was like highly praised, all this sort of stuff. A genius, right? Where he should have been put behind bars. And John Money had the same sort of idea, but it was all to eradicate Christian moralist thought, etc., etc. You have to read those particular books by those particular people to get the gist of it.